I'm Igor.
I'm Moreno, and we are part of Igor and Moreno. We are here at the Lowry actually for a couple of weeks, presenting 3 different works. Beat, a new performance work we've just created. Andante, which is a show that we are returning with. We've already presented Andante last year. And Limited Celestial Space, which is this room, which is our first installation work. Limited Celestial Space was created by the 2 of us with long-term collaborators.
So the 2 of us, as I said, with like a larger team, we make work, artistic work, we call it choreographic work, dance. We've been doing this for quite a few years in different forms. Normally making work for a stage, and for some time to this part we've been exploring work in different contexts as well.
So this exhibition, Limited Celestial Space, was created by us and the artistic team we work with as a development of one of our performances called Andante. So the research of Andante has been very much about reflecting on how the visual aspect of a theatrical performance tends to be predominant and trying to balance that out with other elements. So the performance as well uses smoke to impair the vision to a certain extent so that the other senses can become more alive, more present. We worked with a composer, lighting designer. We worked with a perfumer who developed a smell score for the performance. So the idea is to try and create a space for nothingness, for calmness, and an opening towards the other senses for the audience. So this installation is, in a way, is an obvious step further for that research, in which the performers are actually taken out of the picture and the audience themselves become the performers.
The inhabitants.
They become the inhabitants of this space.
Sometimes performers to other visitors' eye. So sometimes a visitor becomes a performer to another visitor without necessarily realizing that. And always from like talking choreography, that's why like the smell is choreographed, so it's a score, the sound is choreographed. But in this time we were curious about how can that experience in the sense that sensorial can still exist if we are not on stage, if somebody is not on stage performing those actions for them. We developed Andante whilst we were developed with the Lowry, and I think out of that program, I think what we got is also the opportunity to develop not only the performance but also thinking like how our work can exist in other contexts, or how can we ourselves think about what we do in different ways. So in fact the gallery installation is one of the projects that develops out of that encounter and that invitation from the Lowry to be part of the program, and as well as that, like many conversations, so coming back with the work and contextualizing what we do by putting different works at the same time in the building, understanding more about how our work connects with audiences in this region or in this part, and I think that for us is very important because we don't necessarily tour extensively in the UK, and I think there's been a lot of conversations, also like working with Kat here a couple of times, and also like engaging with audiences not just by putting out work but also us encountering in the studio people that are either training or rehearsing or other artists that have been part of the program and seen the work. So